in order to grow, in order to be a really good, solid company, you need to handle some of those issues that you have, the things that are not as efficient as they should be. And the more efficient you are, the more likely you are to be able to grow your company. And the only way you can do efficiency, in my opinion, is through software. And I just haven't, I've looked at a lot of softwares and we've consulted on a lot of softwares. And I think, of course I'm biased, but I think the Zoho Suite of software is just an awesome suite. And it's a pretty easy way to get in.
I'm Sean Hessinger, and this is Small Biz in 15, the show where we bring you small business news and tips to make your small business better. Recently, Small Biz in 15 went on location at Zoholics 2023 in Austin, Texas, and spoke to Susan Clark, president and owner of Cornerstone Solutions, about what to look for when choosing small business software.
Okay, Susan, so let's start with, what does your business do exactly?
Well, probably like most Zoho consultants, we focus strictly on Zoho, where I would call us a boutique Zoho firm because we don't work with any other software right now. But we help people streamline their business and hopefully make more money, go straight to the bottom line. But I think probably what makes us a little bit different is that we focus on the why. Why should you do this versus that? Why should you pick Zoho Forms versus Zoho Survey? Why should you pick Zoho itself over other products? But we try to really focus on the why, because that was something that I was always interested in. Why do this? You have to tell me why first. So we've kind of made our business on it. In addition, I've written several books on Zoho. I've recently released a Zoho One book. And so in order to know everything there is to know, which is really why I write the book, is you have to know why. Why check this option in this form, whatever.
Would you say you have a particular type of customer that you work with? Or is there a size or an industry that you see more often, or is it really a smattering?
It really is a smattering because I've been doing it so long. We certainly have probably the industries that we see the most business from is healthcare and manufacturing and finance, and those, of course, then there's also the business services and technical, but the others are probably our strongest industries. As far as size goes, I mean, we have a lot of solopreneurs that we work with, but then I've had clients with over 500 users. So it varies, and we pretty much I don't look for a particular target customer. I really like just whoever comes in and needs help and is interested in help. They all pay the same. I mean, it's kind of like whoever we can help. That's who we target.
No, the reason I asked is sometimes companies tend to focus on certain sectors. So I just wondered.
Yeah, no, we've got some competitors out there that don't take anybody with a project less than this amount of money. And I guess I learned years ago that I had one client, I loved him to death. He was in the insurance business. And he says, I can only hire you about 2 hours a month, Susan. And I'm like, that's fine. And over time, he's bought and sold 3 businesses. So he was a good customer, and everybody starts small. So
I was going to ask, how did you get involved in this business? And did you do consulting before kind of being a boutique for Zoho?
Yeah, actually I've actually been in business for quite a long time, and we started out in just plain training. And then we had a client that goes, do you know this product called ACT? And that was when it was becoming networkable. And I'm like, yes, we happen to use that one. So we started with that one, and then we actually picked up several others. But over time, I was really friends with a lot of other consultants, and we worked with each other, and we said, okay, we need to pick up something else because this isn't working. And so we found, we tried different products. We tried HubSpot, and we tried Salesforce, and we tried actually quite a few products. And then somebody on the team on our group said, what about Zoho? And we're like, what? We never heard of that. But we all tried it. And there were 6 of us, and we all came over to Zoho at the same time. And it was actually like awesome. I mean, we loved the company. It was an affordable product. It was, even back then, it was pretty comprehensive. It was something that was extremely customizable, which we all liked really well. It was, but I think probably more than anything, we liked the management team. Early on, we met Sridhar, who's the owner of Zoho, and we met a lot of the product team, and they're just awesome people. They just have these great understanding of the small to medium-sized business and where they need to be. And they were just always improving. That was the other thing we were looking at. Somebody who wasn't going to be stagnant. Somebody who wasn't treating their product like a cash cow. So they just, keep raking in the money and not ever improving the product.
My next question is kind of, maybe you've already expanded on it, but why Zoho? And that's not just for you, but maybe small businesses too.
Well, probably was a little bit what I have mentioned is that it was very easy to use, which was key because most reasons that CRMs fail or implementations fail is because people won't use it. Mm-hmm. So you have to make it easy to use. It was, very affordable compared to a lot of different products. It was like I said, customizable, and it was secure. It connected with a lot of different products. It was a pretty easy decision. And because of the product management team, I just really can't say enough nice things about them. As
a consultant, what kind of challenges do small businesses come with to you to solve? What is there I'm sure there are all kinds, but Sure. I think mostly they come to us because at some point they don't know what they don't know. Now, part of it is, and I realize this because having started as a small business, you kind of want to do everything yourself. You think, well, I can handle this. But at some point, even in small business, you have to realize that I'm better off spending my time doing this as opposed to doing actual work. Doing work that is meaningful to the business as opposed to learning this new technology or learning this new thing that I'll only do once or I won't do a lot of. So mostly we come to those people, the people that kind of say, okay, I don't want to spend my time learning this, and I don't want to spend however many hours on YouTube trying to figure out what's the best way to do that. And sometimes people find us on YouTube because they like how we present things. But they mostly don't know what they don't know. And so that's why we kind of really focus on, because Zoho has so many products, we try to focus on knowing as much about all the products as possible so that then we can listen to what the business has, what kind of needs they have, what kind of problems they have. And then we can suggest any products that Zoho might have that would work for them. That makes me want to ask, what tools do people who come to you seem most interested in? What features are there? Big ones that come up all the time that people ask about?
Of course, CRM, but that's probably because I come from a CRM world. I know some people who come from an accounting world. They go, no, books is the most important thing. No, I think CRM, because that's the core of your business. If you lose your customer list and you can't contact them or get in touch with them, you've lost a major asset. So I think CRM first. But of course, I like CRM because it integrates with everything. So even the books, I'm a big fan of the books suite, the finance suite, because when I look up a customer or anybody on my team, they would look up a customer, we can see, are there any invoices outstanding? We can see how much that customer has paid us over time. Can see if there are any credits that they have. So those are really awesome things to look. Or if we're doing shipping, we can see something is in shipping. But I think a lot of them then probably more likely start off with forms or survey, or they Zoho Sign because they look at replacing something like DocuSign pretty easily. Some of the really easy to adopt ones and things that make perfect sense for them to just pick up. Because I would say most of the smaller to medium-sized companies, we're going to encourage them to go to Zoho One because you're supposed to get it for everybody in your firm. And it's just the pricing, is a no-brainer for them. So a lot of clients will say, there's a catch here, right? I'm not missing something. Am I? Like, no, I promise you're not missing anything. It really is this good of a deal for you to do. So they have all these tools at their disposal. And so we try and filter through. Don't get overwhelmed by how much is out there. Let's just kind of pick a few that are relevant to you, and then we'll implement them on a good time frame so nobody gets overwhelmed with new technology.
Well, Susan, you touched on this several times, but I want to kind of ask you more in depth. What's the process like usually from selection to implementation in terms of the clients that you see in terms of using these tools? Once they decide, yeah, I want to use Zoho, and then you implement it, and then what you said, even you got to actually use it.
When we start, usually we start with a survey. Tell me what you're interested in. So, but even before we have our first meeting, I kind of know ahead of time what we'll be talking about or what their concerns are. But for an intake, we spend a couple of hours at least talking to them about their processes. Usually, I don't say much during the intake. I want to hear, other than to guide the conversation. Tell me about how you get your leads. Where do they go? How do you close them? Just as much as possible. Some people have very defined structures, and some people they're new or they have never really defined anything like that. So regardless, we'll help them one way or the other, or kind of, because we've dealt with so many different businesses, we can say, well, I know companies like you have, probably done something like this. So then we just make a plan and try and implement that and get them up and running with something that meets their needs. Take away things that are from the software that they're never going to use, so it doesn't distract the salespeople. Put things in that will help them to do their marketing better, help them do segmentation, things like that. And then we do training. Because I think we do two kinds of training. We do the end user training, which includes mobile training, because I find most teams are pretty mobile now and they like to work on their phones. And then we also train the internal team to kind of learn how to fish, if you will, because while we're certainly glad to handle those little extra things, it just seems silly for them to be able to do it themselves. So we always train that way as well.
I wanted to talk a little bit about this whole idea of benefits. What kind of benefits have you gotten back feedback from your customers they've kind of reaped from using Zoho, from implementing it?
Yeah, I think recently, because of the distributed nature of the workforce, a lot of teams were working on spreadsheets that they used to share in the office, and it's not as easy to share them anymore.
Right.
And so we've kind of pulled things in so that you have a single source. Used to be, we had, recently we did something with helping people put together a proposal that everybody used to use their own spreadsheet. And so now it's all done out of the CRM. And so it's very consistent. It looks really good. So you're looking at things where it goes a lot faster. So you're looking at mostly speed and consistency for the clients, and something that they can kind of count on, because it's in the cloud. It's never going to be down, for all practical purposes.
You bring up another interesting point, or another interesting point is brought up thinking about this, is you're a boutique consultant essentially for a software company. I'm wondering, how do customers come to you? How do you get customers? How does that all work? Because your specialization is a certain solution. How do they find you, I guess, is what I'm wondering.
Sadly, we're terrible at marketing, but however, we've been very fortunate. I think a lot of people find us on YouTube. We're also on Zoho's partner page, so they find us on Zoho's partner page. Because I've written books, they find us on Amazon. And then, of course, we have client referrals. We get some of those. So we've been pretty lucky. We haven't had to do a lot of advertising.
Is there anything else you think we should add about, for small businesses out there that might be thinking about a software solution, might have a pain point that they need solved? Either those who've heard about Zoho before, or maybe even those who haven't, and are looking for a solution. Anything that you would say to them about, what to think about when you're thinking about how to solve your issue?
No, other than you just need to act and solve it. Putting it off is not a good thing. In order to grow, in order to be a really good, solid company, you need to handle some of those issues that you have, the things that are not as efficient as they should be. And the more efficient you are, the more likely you are to be able to grow your company. And the only way you can do efficiency, in my opinion, is through software. And I just haven't, I've looked at a lot of softwares and we've consulted on a lot of softwares. And I think, of course I'm biased, but I think the Zoho Suite of software is just an awesome suite. And it's a pretty easy way to get in.
Well, that's it for another episode of Small Biz in 15. Thanks again to Susan Clark of Cornerstone Consulting and Zoho for making this program possible. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the show, and please leave a comment and let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future programs. For more small business news and tips, join us at smallbiztrends.com.